Everybody, welcome back to Northern Lion Place of Binding of Isaac Repentance, also known as Egg and Baby in the Morning. You don't have to look at that streak, okay? I'm trying to think of I mean, there's so much stuff we've never done. Eden Alt Path is an option. We still have to get Lazarus done as well. Well, let's just do it for old time's sake, right? Eden Dark Path, I mean, this is an incredible start. T44C G40E. We start with 10 bombs. We start with the nail. I can't remember if we get a charge here. You're gonna have to give me a minute to spool up, you know? I'm like a... I'm like a dial-up modem. I did see there was a penny in that fire now that I think about it, but I don't think we could get to it. It is Sunday. It's 9:45 a.m. It's not particularly early, all things considered, but on the other hand, it's somewhat early. Dealing with some baby stuff this morning. Not negative baby stuff, just an excited baby. I mean, honestly, like, again, I don't even want to mention it because it sounds too nice, but, you know, just dealing with a baby who probably slept a little too long and is thus a little more energetic today. Oh, but she did just let out a nice little yawn, so, you know, a watched baby never sleeps. That's not really good advice. You should probably be watching your baby at all times. An observed baby never sleeps. You know, she's watched. She's not under observation as we speak. Can I tell you something as well? And I don't, honestly, like, assuming we can go to the alt path, we almost just beat the alt path, I think, with car battery nail, thus returning the nail to its previous efficacy. I don't want to disrupt this if this is a placebo effect, okay? But you may have, you know, it's been a topic of conversation both for me and, you know, also has come up in Isaac videos and stuff like that. You know, NL, it seems like you've been a little bit more irritable lately. NL, you know, and we've been talking about, like, why are you so phlegmy? You're so phlegmy all the time. I don't want to throw my wife under the bus, okay? But a couple of months ago, maybe like 6 weeks ago, she started doing me a great favor, you know? If she noticed that I didn't have any cold brew, she would make me some, which is incredible. However, we did also... let's just put it this... Hold on, we need a key first. Let's use what we can use. We can go to our secret rooms. Ace of Hearts doesn't matter that much. AWAS, we're gonna pop down here. You can see where this is going. Basically, she misread or misinterpreted the recipe from the cold brew, and it turns out, we found out on Friday, that for the last 6 weeks or so I've been... I don't want to say drinking a quarter of the right amount of caffeine, because I understand that there would be the interpretation that... I mean, for some people, the idea of the right amount of caffeine is 0, right? I don't know if that holds up to medical science, but if it's like an aspartame thing where people are like, one study, you know, done in 1976 showed that in 12 rats it led to problems or something like that. But either way... I think that explains a little bit of moodiness, and also a little bit of feeling like I was kind of like unprepared in the morning. Feeling like my brain being like, why am I kind of like sleepy? And, you know, like you get weirdly phlegmy when you don't sleep well. I think it's related to the caffeine, man. So we went back to the normal recipe. I know you might be like, at this point, why not just let it ride? Honestly, I mean, we want succubus here. We also want to not die, but it's a touchy. Definitely should not have gone this far, but here we go. Why not just try to like wean off it completely? Well, I mean, there's a couple of things. One is like, I just enjoy the taste of coffee to begin with, but I also enjoyed like the effect, obviously. The other one is, I think, you know, when you're dealing with a newborn, I don't know if it's the right time to try to... Oh, excuse me, Spirit Heart? I don't know if that's the right time to try to, you know, go cold turkey on the caffeine consumption, but either way, I think that... I'm choosing to think of this in a couple of different ways, okay? One of the ways I'm thinking of it is like, okay, that's an explanation, and then the other one is like, it's a chance for a bit of a hard restart for me, you know? now that there's a plausible explanation for why I found myself, you know, getting annoyed at seemingly innocuous comments. Also probably a wake-up call about the effects of caffeine to begin with, but, you know, on top of that, you know, let's just say a good opportunity to approach the month of, well, the rest of April and then going into May in the summertime with a little bit more positivity. So I think it's, I got decaf bombed, basically. Now here, this is interesting, right? Okay, I can see that there's spirit hearts inside of here and here. You know what? We don't, no, we do still need to use the bomb because we have to blow it up. I was thinking we could just use the nail, but, we could use, there's 2 spirit hearts in that as well, but I don't know how to get to it. We could use a planetarium, like, or we could try to create a planetarium. I think it's a 20% chance to get a planetarium on the next floor if you ignore the item room on the floor previous. I mean, dude, that's pretty good. Now, we could play the Demon Judgment, but was there anything on the shop of merit? There was a red heart. There, I mean, we could bomb the donation machine. I don't think it's necessary. And I don't know, the Demon Judgment, remembering that these are only half hearts, you know, I'm honestly gonna give it a try. I'm realizing now we stand no chance to make this happen, but just work with it. You got something for me? You should not do this. If you are watching along at home and you're like, I'm gonna follow in the footsteps of my favorite streamer on this one, I wouldn't recommend it, but it did kind of work out. Alright, down to the next floor, I suppose. Hey, baby. Hey, baby. Not being able to go to the item room definitely does suck, and, you know, so does opening that red chest and finding out that there's just a bunch of frickin' spiders inside of it, so I'm glad that Guppy's eye saved us from that indignity. Anyway, the long and the short of it is, like, we've adjusted the recipe, and I'm feeling, I mean, again, whether it's placebo or not, I'm feeling, you know, energetic. Definitely, I think, as a youngster, you know, when you hear about, like, the placebo effect, you falsely, and at least this is my personal take on it, you falsely believe that it's your goal as a rational and logical individual to usurp, I should say, the placebo effect. To seek out all opportunities where the placebo effect could possibly, you know, be at play, and then to say, no, it's just the placebo effect. It's the same reason, like, whenever anybody makes an argument online based on their experience, you don't ever acknowledge that they might have a point. Instead, you just go, sounds like confirmation bias to me, right? Like, arguing online is way less about, or even just having a discussion online is way less about sharing your experience and way more about, like, who remembers more of the rhetorical fallacies from 12th grade debate. But anyway, ignoring that little bit of cynicism, what was I saying? Oh yeah, like, I've come to, thank you, I think. This is, we don't get red hearts anymore, they just become flies, I think. That might be totally fine. Either way. You know, the older I've gotten, the more I've accepted that maybe the right thing to do with the placebo effect is to, you know, believe in comforting lies. If that makes sense. Might as well give it a try here. This is like the smallest floor I've ever seen, too. What's up with that? You know, if you can use the placebo effect instead of, I mean, I understand as well, this is, you know, NL, you're doing the comedian's fallacy of misrepresenting something deliberately in order to play it for laughs, but if you're aware of the placebo effect, then it ceases to function. However, what if it didn't? But really, I think sometimes I'm like, dude, if there's a placebo and it's working for you and it's not, you know, it's not causing you harm, not like this, dude, not like this. Where's Succubus? Help me. Then I'm not in a position to be saying no to this, like Lin-Manuel Miranda or like Alexander Hamilton to Miss Mariah Reynolds. Anyway, how was my weekend? It was abnormal, but not in a bad way. We had, well, maybe it was actually a return to the mean, you know, or a regression to the mean. We had like literally 2 weeks of summer weather in Vancouver, to the extent that I had to remind myself it's still April. I was like, you know, Mark Antony coming back from the... What war did he fight in, baby? Mark Antony. Was he in the... against Carthage? The Punic Wars? Was he in the Punic War? No, the Punic War, it's Athens versus Sparta. What was Rome versus Carthage called? I can't remember. The Peloponnesian War? No, that's... Hold on. Rome versus Carthage. War name. That is the Punic War. It's the... I'm thinking of the Peloponnesian War as Athens versus Sparta. Duh. What was I thinking, baby? This is why you gotta stay in school, baby. This is why I won't let you become a YouTuber, baby. YouTuber baby, though. You ever think Baby Yoda has done baby yoga? You think Baby Yoda goes to baby yoga? Sorry. Anyway, great run so far. Really great run. I'm glad to be bantering. And dude, honestly, I think it's either the placebo effect or the effect of more caffeine. I feel sunnier. I think people out there are like, hey man, in a perfect world, you probably shouldn't maybe consume caffeine, but I will say I've been enjoying the Isaac episodes more ever since you got back to your default dose. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, so it was like, you know, Mark Antony returning to the sack of, returning to Rome after the sack of Carthage. I was like whispering in my own ear, remember, you know, it is not the summer. It is not the summer, you know? And now, we got, oh, I'm so stupid. We got something like a... You said it, baby. You said it. Because, you know, she's like, I want to go out for a walk. And I'm like, we still can, don't get me wrong. You know, we're in Vancouver. We're well equipped for the rain here. But it is set to be literally like 10 or 11 days of rain. And rain is not like, you know, when it rains, it's not like literally 24/7. I mean, some days it yes, but many days it's just like, you know, it rains for like an hour here or there, but it does... It does put a damper on things to some extent. But it is what it is, you know. So it was a little rainy on Saturday, and also Kate had a sponsor stream. We talked about it, and you know, she was like, I got this cool offer that I want to do, but it's on our day off. Should I do it? And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. So I had a little bit more baby time yesterday, but it was nice, you know. Just I got to you know, spend more time with the baby in the afternoon when normally that might be a little bit more mommy time. And, you know, got to play a little bit more MLB The Show as well. And just a very low-key day. Not in a, you know, not in a negative way, but... I recommend some down there, some at home, I don't know, that's You Live, You Learn by Alanis Morissette. I was trying to think... Moments that live in my head rent-free. Moments that butter my biscuit. Things that shocked me more than when I found out it wasn't butter. I'm stealing all these titles directly from the Kitchen Nightmares YouTube channel. I don't know if there's like a social media award for like best clickbait. If there is, though, I give it to Gordon Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmares YouTube channel. I think we can go. This is not the button floor. So we can leave. We got the pentagram, which is great. We can't even go to the alt floor. Fantastic. It's good. Ooh. Ooh. Apart from that, I'm pretty anecdoteless, as you might expect. You know, we finished Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I don't want to rain on anybody's parade, but I did find it probably... On a scale from Thor 2 to Captain America the Winter Soldier... Dude, Botfly is not bad. All I'm going to say is that, you know, it had its moments, but I definitely feel like it felt maybe a little bit... For me, it felt a little bit closer to the Ant-Man and the Wasp end of the spectrum. Still very, you know, interested to see what happens when it comes to Loki. And I don't know if this is true, but I kind of, like, I was looking to see if I was the only person who was like, the show was a little... And if you enjoyed it, then cool, man. No, I'm not trying to stoke, you know, the fires of fanboyism or anything. I had a good time watching it. At the end of it, I was just kind of like, I feel like I preferred WandaVision at the end of the day, but it was still, like, an enjoyable watch. And to some extent, like, a lot of my criticisms are just ironic, or maybe, what do you expect? Like, I'm watching, like, a huge budget Disney show about people with superpowers, and then, you know, at the end, I'm like, I like the message, but it was a little on the nose. You're like, yeah, what do you expect? It's about a guy with wings, and he's called the Falcon. You know, do you expect it would be ripe with, like, subtext or something like that? I can't really say that, you know, that I don't really have a leg to stand on in the argument. However, apparently, it's like, I was wondering, because I was like, you know, Marvel's still, at least for a while, they got criticized about how, like, their villains didn't really work too well. They had a lot of generic villains. This felt kind of like a return to that, and I was looking up, I was like, why does this one aspect of the plot seem so half-baked? And then I saw a post, I don't know how true it is, but the post was like, originally part of the plot was gonna deal with the bad guys wanting to create a virus that, you know, would wipe out half of the life on planet Earth, and I was like, oh, okay, I can see why maybe they had to pivot. I can see why they thought that it might be a good time to maybe go a different direction in the story. And that might have led to... he's a genius. That might have led to some, you know, half-baked kind of storylines, I suppose. Do you see how that trinket changed when the trinket was dropped in here? That's very weird. I had no idea that would happen. I don't think you could use that to your advantage, really. I mean, the odds of you knowing what was inside of it, you really had to have Guppy's eye to begin with, but anyway. So I had a good time watching it, but, you know, at the end of the day, more of the forgettable side of Marvel for sure. And, you know, if you're like, oh, all the Marvel stuff's forgettable, congrats, you know, can you, I didn't make the last Mensa meeting, can you tell me what they talked about? Oh, how smart you are? Okay, I didn't miss anything then. We also, and, you know, I've already put my wife on blast a little bit here, I don't want to cast any aspersions. But my wife started asking me about 50 Shades of Grey. I don't know if she caught like a YouTube video about it, was previously unaware of its existence or something like that. And I want to be clear, and I know you're like, this is just what she told you. Nah, I believe her, for sure. But there's so many Emperor cards. You know, she was like, I heard it was really bad. And it's like something to do with Twilight. And I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I heard that it was like... It originally started as, like, Twilight fan fiction, and then became, like, its own full-fledged, like, unbelievably high-grossing movie series. And obviously the novel was very popular as well. So it was on Netflix, and I'm here to tell you, it's only on Netflix till May 3rd, so if you want to watch it, this is your chance. I only watched, like, half of it, because I had to go to bed, but, like... I gotta tell you, it's actually, I assumed that it was one of those things that was like, not great, but also mocked because it's enjoyed by a different subset of planet Earth than the average, like, you know, smarmy, cynical internet user such as myself. Like, at the end of the day, like, Twilight got mocked, but it, you know, I'm not suggesting it's good and might even be harmful in some ways, but more like, you know, it's a show that, or it's a movie series and book series that's mostly meant for a different demographic than me, so what do I care? 50 Shades of Grey, on the other hand, was, I was flabbergasted at the badness of it. I understand that, like, perhaps the quality of the script writing and stuff isn't the point, and instead the point is like, oh my god, you know? He's so hot. But even that, I felt like they did not... It's... As somebody who's watched... And you could say I don't get it, by the way, which is totally fine. I don't get everything. Did you hear my take on Falcon and the Winter Soldier, for example? I agree, baby. I couldn't agree more, quite frankly. Allah. We gotta start stacking some HP, man. As someone who considers themselves, at the very least, a connoisseur of movies that are so bad they're good, if you're in that similar boat, I would really encourage you to watch 50 Shades of Grey. It's actually like... Oh, both of these have spirit hearts, dude. It's actually kind of... And by kind of, I mean extremely comical. I get it, like, I don't want to be rude to fan fiction, okay? But the thing that I would say about it is that it's so unbelievably obvious that it was originally derived from fan fiction. Like, it's stuff that I mean, you gotta be careful about how you phrase things, I guess, but it's stuff that no average human being would consider romantic. Like on your second... Oh, my bone heart. New world record, my bone heart loss. Like on the second date with this guy who, you know, has been very, very forceful in his overtures. He, you know, takes you on a helicopter trip where he's flying the helicopter. And they're going to, you know, a different city. And he's like, hey, just stay overnight in my penthouse. And you're like, I don't know if it's just... I guess I don't know what to say, but it just seems a little bit scary. If anything, it just seems a little bit like unsafe. I guess the whole point of the movie is that it's kind of unsafe, but like Christian Grey, who is the namesake, you know, everybody knows that he's into S&M, but it's less that he's into S&M and more that he talks like a robot. Like, it's kind of crazy. I'm not trying to... I get that it's not for me, right? I'm not trying to gatekeep it. It did make $500 million. That was not smart. It did make $500 million at the box office. And, by the way, as is often the case, features the city of Seattle and Portland as portrayed by Vancouver. But anyway, dude, these spirit hearts are, like, this is unbelievable. Allah. Allah. Baby, you sound like the middle of a Pavement song from 1992, Slanted and Enchanted. She's got the baby talk active and it makes her... Okay, just... Dude, at this point, the optics of it are you can't say no to holy water. You absolutely have to pick it up. It's the most beloved item in existence. Yeah. The devil, huh? Do you think Baby Yoda... Okay. That was just an expression that popped into my head today. I don't know, I thought of like, what if you had like a cartoon? Like in the New Yorker or something like that? Which is where I get all of my Marvel reviews from. And it said like, it was like a guy and his baby, they went out for Halloween. But instead of dressing up as Baby Yoda, they dressed up as Baby Yoga. So they were both doing like a, you know, downward facing dog pose or whatever. And then the caption just says, oh, sorry, I thought you said come as Baby Yoga. As with most comics that you'd find in the newspaper, it's not that funny, but it just goes more for like the kind of idea like, do you get it? If you get it, then you got it, man. Then you got it. Listen to the single and you be like, yo, I gotta get it. That's, again, parental discretion is advised by NWA. Now, one of the most commonly referenced NWA songs you'd ever hear, but it does exist. And it's, I don't know, parental discretion is advised is pretty good. Track 1, Straight Outta Compton. Track 2, F the Police. Track 3, Gangster Gangster. You know, these are well-known NWA songs. Track 4, Parental Discretion is Advised. Gets a very limited amount of attention compared to the first 3 songs on the album. But also, in my opinion, it is on the level, at the very least, of a gangster, okay? Doesn't have the same kind of social commentary as the first two songs. It lacks some of the brashness, but... Baby, feel free to butt in at any time, alright? I know that NWA doesn't have a song that can hold a candle to Frog Likes to Hop Hop Hop. He jumps in the water. Splish, splash. Splish, splash. She's like... Sometimes, anytime you hear me talk like that, I'm looking at the baby and smiling. Because that's how you make the baby smile. If the baby's on the borderline of smiling, then you just look at the baby and you smile and you talk like this, and she's like, this is great. I will say though, sometimes you know, Twitch chat doesn't always... I've got an audience that... Thank you. I've got an audience... No, after you. I've got an audience of people, many of whom have had kids of their own, for sure. But, like, some of the advice that Twitch chat gives you... And it's probably not just Twitch chat. I can't believe we got another Emperor card. I also can't believe I can't get to the... I can't get to that, but... Wah! Is just like, yeah, in a perfect... It's just, look, okay, I have a horse in the race here, but it's a lot like the caffeine advice, where, you know, what's the right amount of caffeine to consume? It's possibly 0, okay? I can't deny it. But in the real world, you know, sometimes you end up drinking a cup of coffee. The same way, like, sometimes I'll talk about, like, parenting stuff, and I'll be like, I don't know, like, when you should, you know, feel not okay about watching, like, an R-rated movie with a baby. Is it one of those things where you should never do it? I don't think that's the case. She's like, I want to watch Reservoir Dogs. Baby, you can't watch Reservoir Dogs, okay? Maybe Glengarry Glen Ross. There's not that much violence in that. It's mostly just toxic masculinity. I don't know if you could appreciate the Faustian bargains that Jack Lemmon has to make in the movie, though. It's David Mamet dialogue. It's rapid fire. It's brash. It's acerbic. It's like chewing on a vitamin C tablet you were only supposed to swallow. It'll make you pucker your lips. Hey. She's like, no, I want to watch Crank 2 High Voltage. Baby, you can't watch Crank 2 High Voltage until you're at least 9, okay? But then some people are like, the baby won't be upset. They just mirror your reaction to things. And I'm like, buddy, you don't know what the heck you're talking about, with no disrespect. What do you mean that the baby just mirrors your reaction? I don't cry when I'm hungry. I just get grumpy. The baby openly weeps. Okay, hold on. We out here? This run has a very real potentiality to make it happen, and also, like, kind of in record time. Frog likes to hop, hop, hop. He jumps in the water. The other thing about the 50 Shades series... Okay, like, the middle of the first movie is just, you know, fornicating, which is, I think, kind of what people signed up for when they went to see it in the first place. Honey, my honey baby, what's wrong? What's wrong? Wait, you know what's wrong? You're throwing Crinkle Panda. You're throwing Crinkle Panda around. Here you go. You can't be throwing Crinkle Panda. Oh, you don't throw Crinkle Panda. You crinkle him. You crinkle him. We might have to throw a little pause, just a low pause in here, because we're so close to the end, for better or for worse anyway, but I think we always want to have the nail ready to go, because it is a sizable damage upgrade, as you can see. But then when I had to know, right? So, like, I looked up the synopsis for what happens in the second movie and the third movie, and it gets insane. There's like kidnapping, and it's not just about like, you know, a couple that's exploring the boundaries of intimacy. Instead, you know, there's like succession style business intrigue, and then, you know, like a guy losing his mind and you know, vowing revenge on them. And hey, she's like, spoilers, I'm gonna watch those when I get older. No, you're not. Well, you'll be using your own credit card for Netflix 3.0. As long as I'm around, you're only watching Bluey and Ben Stiller movies. This is a Stiller household, okay? And only Ben, not Jerry. Sometimes Jerry gets a little controversial. A Festivus for the rest of us and all that. Okay. I mean, this is like a world record speed run here. This is incredible. You can't hurt me. You can't harm me. We're at the boss. I feel so unbelievably blessed. I really do want to charge, though. I think we should get a charge. As minor as it may seem, I don't think it is minor. It's like a +4 damage increase, which is like double damage. And we've only got to do like at maximum 3 rooms to get it. Even if we took 1 heart to make it happen, I know we get 1 heart back, but even if we took 1 heart to make it happen, I think it would still be very, very, very much worth it. So I think I've played okay. But, and dude, maybe it's the caffeine. I'm realizing the depths of chemical dependency here. This is like, I feel like I'm switched on, man. Like, I got it all figured out. I can see through walls right now. Did you hear the rant I went on about Glengarry Glen Ross? Where did that come from, baby? I don't know anything about that. I'm remembering things. David Toulouse. His name just popped into my head for some reason. I've been thinking of it for like 3 weeks. He's back, baby! He's back! Not David Toulouse. He never left, although he kind of left me a little unimpressed in the Charlie Kaufman movie. I'm thinking of ending things, but that wasn't his fault predominantly. I would say it more... I'll chalk that one up to a bit of a pretentious script, in my opinion. Overly indulgent, insubordinate, and churlish. Okay, took way too much damage there, but did get to pop the nail, and also that like that Pong attack is like just is impossible. Even the baby's like, even the baby can't dodge it. That's exactly. There we go. We're safe. Nice dodges. Thank you, Succubus. Keep up the good work. Incredible. Good inception on that one. You were the change you wanted to see in the dodging world. Botfly, you're doing incredible stuff. Shielded Tears, you're doing great work. This is dangerous because I'm almost starting to feel like I know how to fight this boss. Buddy, I gotta be honest. I think you're freaking toasted. Either you're toasted or I'm toasted. We've had big ambitions on the last few Isaac runs. This is the first one that is actually gonna... It's actually gonna make it, I think. Beautiful. Beautiful. Excuse me, he was frozen. Can you explain to me how a frozen man generated a pressure vacuum? I don't think so. Oh. Frozen boss, I should say. Apparently this boss is just mom. I guess I've literally never failed to hit the spacebar on the introduction. So I apologize. What a run, though. Baby, what a run. This was incredible. So yeah, this appeared in the basement. That was unbelievable. I couldn't ask for a more successful first run of the week. For now, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. Twitch.tv/NorthernLion. If you think I'm powerful in a video now that I'm caffeinated, you just wait till the stream. Apart from that, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. See ya!